Don't need but one earphone. All right, all right. Welcome, everybody. My name is Earl Mann, and I am the President and CEO here at Alpha Loop. It's my absolute honor to be with you tonight to share information that we are very, very excited about. Tonight's broadcast is designed to do a couple of things. Predominantly, it's one of our mechanisms for bringing everybody up to speed on where we are with the pre-launch, the pre-game, and the pending launch, what's going on, and this is also our platform for global communication. It's a way for me to communicate to the whole team, so we don't have to, you go through people to people to people to people and get watered down as it goes through. So lots of things to share tonight, so I'm going to jump right in and get right started. First of all, it's been a busy week of announcements. Make sure that you're staying plugged into, wow, we have a couple of things now, but make sure that you're staying plugged into the Facebook page. Most people spend at least some portion of their time logging into Facebook, checking out what their friends are doing, family, stalking people, whatever you guys do out there. But make sure you carve out a little bit of that Facebook time to tune into the Alpha Loop page and see what's going on with the company. That's one of the first places we make announcements. Now, that's going to start to change and morph as we start to get more integrated and up to speed, which we started to do this week. So as of this week, we also now have a pre-game mobile app that you can also use to stay connected with the mothership and to everybody else. All you have to do is just search for Alpha Loop in your mobile app store, whether it's Android or iPhones, and you can download the Alpha Loop pre-game app. This app is designed to just help support your effort and to keep you connected as we move through pre-game. And lots of things excited. One way you can do that. Another way that you can get simply get the Alpha Loop app, for those of you taking notes, because you want to get this information out to your teammates that were not able to make this live broadcast and might be too lazy to come to watch the rebroadcast. Okay, I'm a realist. I know how it is. So what you want to do is just have them text Alpha Loop app, Alpha Loop, and then APP to the number 95577. 95577. Text the word Alpha Loop app, and what will be sent back to their phone will be the link that they can click on to download the app, whether it be an Apple phone or an Android phone. So that's another way we now have available to stay connected to the movement. Now, in that Alpha Loop app, we have most of the things we're telling you to stay plugged into. So we have the Facebook pages in there. We also have our recorded archive trainings that we've made available, so now they're all in one place. And we're going to continue to add other things. We have our Alpha Loop YouTube channel in that app as well. But that app also gives us the ability to push information out to you, alert you about different things, remind you about different things that's going on. And we're going to also make it very easy for you to demonstrate who we are to other people using the app. So instead of you hunting around for different places, you just be able to open up your Alpha Loop app, click on a video if you want them to kind of get a little teaser video, or we're going to put it's all in one place just to make it really, really easy. The next thing we want to talk about is we also this week made available our we made available our private community, but we did it online, but not as a mobile app, because we want to start to have you clearly make the relationship between this huge social media and community market out there that we're jumping into with a plan to try to dominate. That's a pretty big claim, but we're pretty clever in what we're trying to do. And no, we don't have to try to become the next Facebook to be massively successful. But when you walked up tonight, I think I'm going to help you understand how huge this opportunity truly is and how clever and practical our approach will be. But it's imperative, though, that you know these things and experience these things firsthand. So what we need you to do is log into your Alpha Center, log into your Alpha Loop website, and right there's a document you should download. It shows you how to set up, activate yourself in the private community. We call it SmallWorlds. Most of tonight's broadcast is going to be to help you understand the strategy and the opportunity behind these small worlds. But the first step is for you to get in one. So everybody in pre-launch has the ability, just by clicking buttons, to activate themselves inside of this private small world, this pre-launch small world. The only way they can get in is to be in the pre-launch. But if you're in pre-launch, it's very easy to activate yourself, and we show you what to do. Now, We want you to do a couple of things. We're setting the foundation for you to be massively successful as we start to move forward. So we're going to ask you to activate yourself. We're going to ask you to go ahead and set up a profile. Basically, you put a picture to a name. We want to see who you are. We want to, a large part of your organization, if you're really successful, will not be from the town you live in. That's part of the power of what we do. A large part of what we do, a large part of the organization might be from around the country, around the world even. In fact, most of it will not be where you are. There's a strategy behind that. But so the way that you make this, you keep this a human event, the way that you humanize your effort in our event and our technology is to make it feel as human as possible. Photos will do a great job for doing that, videos as well. So when you activate your SmallWorld account, we want you to go ahead and set up your profile, add a photo. Your photo is the most important. You can add a background photo just like Facebook, a profile photo and a background photo. But then once you do that, you can go through and set up some bios. If you have social media links like Facebook and Twitter and that stuff, you can set that stuff up. But the important thing is we want to put a name to a face, but then we show you how to add 3 bits of information about yourself. We want to know what your current occupation is, what your current hobbies are, and then just one interesting thing about you. Now, and that's it. And then what this is going to allow us to do is it's going to allow you to rapidly start to understand at least a little bit about the people you're working with on your team and outside of your personal team, but that are part of the larger pre-launch team. And over time, these bits of information are going to give us the ability to allow you to leverage other teammates in some very powerful ways. If you're talking to a teacher that's looking at this as an opportunity, it might help for you to rapidly connect her to other teachers that are involved or interested, or you move the calendar forward, that are successful in this business. What we're doing now is setting you up for success. We know this is not how people normally start in other network marketing companies, other direct sales companies. We are doing this by design. We don't want to be just another one of those companies. There's enough of those out there. We're trying to take the time to actually do some things that are really going to pay you dividends if you take the time to do it right. So go in, leave those 3 bits of information about you in our SmallWorld, in our private community. But here's the really big mission. And most people, either you're going to take this mission on and win the game, or you're going to have excuses as to why you will not do it, because you can do it. It's going to be easier for some people, more difficult for others. But this is the first personal challenge in our effort to make you successful. Your personal challenge is to go get as many people that you've personally brought into the pre-launch. And people are doing these a lot of different ways. Facebook ads and all kind of stuff. But here's your first effort to humanize your event. You use whatever influence and mechanisms and powers you have to get them to do the exact same thing I just walked you through. What we're teaching you how to do is to duplicate. We're doing this in advance of us going live, in advance of us saying, hey, we're ready to activate your accounts. The better you can become at doing this, quite frankly, the more money you will make. But also, the more productive your team will be, the more sustainable your team will be. So you want to get this skill, and then you want others on your team to get this skill. This is like the first real dress rehearsal for duplication. There's still no money involved, right? So you can have that, you can get out there, get aggressive, but you have to take this as a learning experience. You have to take this as a personal challenge. You have to equate this. You have to somehow in your mind equate your success in this mission to your financial success later down the line. Any voice, person, or thing that tells you this is not critical is misguiding you. Most people do not have the ability to duplicate in the industry. That's why most people are not successful. Most people join a company and then it's go time, it's live time the minute they join, because they join a company that's already in business. And then they have all the pressure in the world to learn the products and learn this and build a team and learn how to duplicate and learn all these things. As they try to evaluate, did they make a real good decision? Can they really do this? Is it really going to work? And most people don't make it to answer that question yes. They just don't. We're hedging your bet. We're going to prep you, train you, give you the means, give you an opportunity to try, learn, fail, adjust, get better before we say it is time to launch. Because when it's time to launch, all of this becomes that history, that in your rearview mirror, and you don't get another chance at it. So the pre-launch is still available. People can still join your free team as a pre-launch person. None of that changes. The only thing that's changing now is you have the ability to log in and activate yourself in this private community. So I'm going to jump into helping you understand now a little bit more of what this small world potential is. So, and you can sit back and just kind of take some notes and just take it in. But now, when I go through this, I think it's going to help you understand how significant everything we've done up to this point is, as well as really start to bring in focus what the future could be for you. So, small world. Small world is our concept. It's a simple concept. Basically, we're building into that technology what human beings do naturally. And what human beings do naturally is they organize in different groups. And we call these different naturally forming groups small worlds. So a family is an example of a small world. We, Alpha Loop, the pre-launch team, is an example of a small world. You know, your office community is a small world. The friends you hang out with all the time or travel with, all of those are examples of small worlds. Your church is an example of a small world. Study team, workout team, any naturally forming small group is an example of a small world. Here's what's happening. Here's some of the qualities of a small world. What's relevant and interesting and valuable is different from world to world to world. What's appropriate is different from world to world to world. Think about what an appropriate conversation might be for you and your college buddies versus you and your executive mindshare group versus you and your professional development group versus you and your faith-based group versus you. And, you know, you can go through all these different worlds and realize that the laws of the world are unique to the world, and that's a good thing for us. So what we enable with these small worlds to do, we enable people to get together in a private community and just communicate with other members of that world. And we make it very easy for individuals to create these worlds and invite other people to join into these worlds. So what we're doing is we're making the real world mobile. So, you know, we're not trying to create something that doesn't already exist. What we're actually doing is making what already exists mobile, and we have a business model built around that. So I'm going to walk you through some of that tonight. So, you know, here's why it's important, and here's why, you know, Facebook is so valuable, and Google is doing a lot of things they're doing, and all these companies like Instagram and Snapchat and all these different companies are coming out there and trying to get these big groups of people online that are socially connected, is because there's a $10 billion being built up to be spent through these online. And the number one way people are spending money online will be through social networks. And the reason why that is very practical. That's the only chance they have of making sure that they can get the right, you know, products to the right people, the right communication to the right people, the right advertising to the right people. But here's where it starts to differentiate between us and the rest of the world. We do not have to, we're not targeting what people say, we're not targeting keywords they use, we're not profiling people, they don't have to fill out profiles, we're not monitoring what they say within these worlds, we're not monitoring what they're searched for. And this list of everything we do not do is the number one reason why people are now having issues with Facebook and Google and free email and basically free services out there. Here's why. Because the only way that these free services can help figure out how to take advantage of that $10 billion, where's that slide, that $10 billion that's out there, right, is for them to monetize, make money on that free email service that you use. Facebook's trying to make money on you by making Facebook free to you. And the way that they monetize that is by somehow giving advertisers access to your personal information. That's why there's so much controversy out there about privacy issues with social media, privacy issues with free social networks. We all know that our social network, our private communities are not going to be free. We don't have that motivation. They're very inexpensive, but they're monetized already. We don't have this built-in motivation. So why mobile apps? Well, so here's the clever thing about what we're doing. We agree with the rest of the world. You know, people join our. If you look at all of the people that join our mobile apps as being a part of one giant network, that's a huge social network, right? But we agree with the rest of the world that there's no need. We don't need another social network, right? Nobody's going to say, hey, you need to join the next Facebook. All we simply do is introduce people to the relevant mobile app. So we agree with the rest of the world that the last thing the world needs is another Facebook, another social network. We agree, but we say we agree kind of, because in essence what we're doing is people are joining a massive social network, but they're doing it passively. They're just joining these different mobile apps. And we built it in such a way to keep all of their data separated and not commingled with everybody else. So why are we so confident? Why are we so confident that this is a tremendous strategy for us and a tremendous opportunity for you? Well, a couple of reasons. One is because we're going into a need that already exists. If you just go on Google and search privacy issues with Facebook, you know, any keywords along those things, you're just going to see millions of documents out there. People are concerned, and there are some wide open, untapped markets that naturally fit those small worlds we talked about. You know, one of the first small worlds we're going after as a market is families, right? We call that product. Now that you understand that small world is a concept, we call that product our world, and we're going to target families. Why? A couple of reasons why. Why? Because in a family, those concerns are elevated, because they are definitely private communities. You know, there are some things inside of your family that you only want to be discussed inside of that are just not appropriate or relevant to be out there on Facebook. Also, there is you have children involved, and you have underage people involved, and Facebook is never going to be the place for you to have underage children sharing information and all this other stuff. But the larger community, the larger reasons, and I don't know if you can see this slide, but don't worry, I'll just kind of walk you through it, is there's a huge rise of interest in people that are trying to understand where they come from. If you look up companies like Ancestry.com and Family Tree and all these different, it'll give you some insight into how big this market is. And what we're allowing people to do with this family app is to actually chronicle their family story in real time, just by members of their family sharing information, sharing photos, making comments, doing these different things in a way that's very passive to them, you know. But also, because this is a paid-for product, you know, it's never going to make sense for a family's a family story to be stored on Facebook, right? A free service. It does make sense, though, for it to be stored in a family app, and that's setting us up for some very powerful things. For example, some premium services we're going to be able to offer that make this even more valuable to families. So imagine that, you know, you have your family in this private community, and you know, you may be, I don't know, lukewarm excited about how cool that is today because you're just getting in it and you're just getting started. But imagine how powerful that would be 4 years from now, 5 years from now, you know, when you have 5 years worth of all this interaction with family members in this one consolidated place that you can actually leverage in a couple different ways. Let me just give you some examples of what is coming through our platform and through our network. So, you know, when you look at these family apps, you can imagine that, you know, when you have people that are traveling, or you have people that live in your family that are on a hurricane part of the world, and there's a storm or a tornado, and these things go. We all know how difficult it is for people to communicate, and everybody's trying to call. It'll be easy just to go into a family app and either put a text and say, I'm okay, that all the family can see in one place, or perhaps just click a button that says, I'm okay, right? So that's one example of the value of a communication being way more valuable in the context of a small world than it might be in just an open forum, right? Here's another example of how powerful, small worlds become. When you get people all together that have a unique focus, then some things that are already out there, their value begins to change as well. Like, for example, one of the things we're going to offer that I personally can't wait to offer, my mom's 86, about to become 87. She's not going to log into a computer. She's not going to ever use a smartphone. But here's what she will do. It would be very cool, right, if she could have a digital picture frame on her counter next to her bed or magnetically on her refrigerator that takes the feed from her family app, right? And it's photos that are being pushed to that app from her family. It makes total sense, right? A digital picture frame, it's kind of exciting, kind of okay, and a picture frame that takes a general Facebook feed, that may be relevant to some people. But you know what? A picture frame that's taking photos in real time or near time from members of a specific group, that completely changes a picture frame to me. I would want one. In fact, if it's not a leap, and I don't want to give too much away, but it's not a leap to, picture frames can come in multiple sizes, and, a picture frame could be a picture as well, right? So, imagine pictures on your wall. I would love to have a picture on my wall in my office where when I glance up there, it's different events that are happening from my family. That would be awesome. Or from my small world. I might have a picture frame that's being fed from a family. I might have a different one that's being fed from a different small world. So that's just to give you a little bit of insight. Also, some things we're looking at are the ability to actually download and save out that data, especially photos, but into a physical place. We actually have a prototype product name for that. So imagine, now imagine, you're 3 years ahead, 4 years down the line, 5 years down the line, and some of your family members that are now posting today are no longer a part of your family, are no longer with us on this earth. That they've moved on. How valuable does all of that stuff become, and where do you save it? Where do you save that information? Well, we think it would be very interesting to be able to save it to a physical device that physically you have in your hand. So you can, on a regular basis, you can just download your entire Small World's content. In this case, let's just keep it about the family, to a physical device. You take that little small device and put it in a safety deposit at the bank, and now you have an heirloom. You have something that you can actually keep, and you're not worried about some pre-service provider changing the nature of their terms or going away or that whole thing. So that's just giving you a little bit of insight to where we're going. We also are going to start to walk you through it's just a whole different world of features and control in our small worlds than there will ever be in Facebook, because Facebook has a different motive. Their motivative is trying to monetize you. Ours is trying to make the small world experience valuable. So one of the things that we have coming as well is it's very hard for most families to just communicate on a like a conference call. Wouldn't it be nice if they could just log into their family app and click a button and then just instantly everybody be on the same conference call? Little practical, okay, so that was a good example of how something that's been out there forever that will never really make its way probably into be practical enough for a family to use as a service, a conference call service, but definitely would be very interesting for people to click a button and use it that way, right? So we're going to make a lot of things out there that are interesting that people won't use because there's too many steps to get involved. We're going to make it like a one-click access in our service. So that's what's very powerful about what we're doing. But here's the thing we want you to understand about the power of this small world concept, right? So I don't know if you can see this slide, but basically, we say, if you can imagine, 100 of these small worlds out there, each of them only having 10 members. So let's just imagine we had 100 family apps out there, but each of them only had 10 members. But what you got to realize is that each member in this app is a potential small world. Why? Because remember, small worlds go beyond family. So each person in the family might say, hey, you know what, I want my own small world for, and they can fill in the blanks what they might want it for, a team, a club, fitness-related stuff. They might just want one for them and one other person. Who knows? They're so inexpensive that, they're going to want one. But let's do the math on this, and this is what I want you to understand. So let's just say that we got 100 of these small worlds out there, all of which each only had 10 members. So now you have 1,000 members in there, right? But if each of those 1,000 people activated a small world, each only having 10 members, you're now suddenly up to 10,000. If they did the same thing, you're up to 100,000 members in this platform. But here's the thing I want you to dream about tonight. That example I started off with can be done by one person. One person in our business model can get 100 small worlds into the marketplace. One person can do that. We have people on the pre-launch team that have 3 and 4 and 500 people on their pre-launch team. So, you know, even if those people just activated their own small worlds apps at launch and got their families in, you see how quickly we balloon up there. So our goal as a company is to get to 10,000 small worlds in the marketplace, which will translate to roughly 1 million eyeballs. But the reason I wanted to walk you through this model is because I wanted to understand the tremendous leverage you have, with the small world concept, because every individual product is multiple members. Here's why this is so important. One of the very first products we're going to launch after the company launch is called a passport app. A passport app is a mobile app that individual members of a small world can get purchased for themselves. So let's just say, let me see who's somebody on this mobile who said hi to me. So let's just say Tom. Tom said hi to me tonight. He says, I'm a clear picture and audio, smartly dressed today. Tom, I want you to know that this was live and real, and I read that message, so I'm going to use you in your example. So let's just say that I'm a member in one of Tom's small worlds out there. He could have many. It could be his family or one of the many he takes to the marketplace. And then I decide I want to activate this passport app. Now, why would I want to activate this passport app? For the same reason that most mobile apps are being sold today. The freemium model, right? They get a taste of something for free, and then for more features, functions, capabilities, or stuff, they upgrade. They pay a one-time fee and they upgrade. We have that exact same model. So all the members of your small world apps will be able to individually upgrade for different types of things, whether it be more features inside of the small world, like advanced and very robust notification beyond the basic that's available inside of their app. And remember, individuals are going to be members of multiple worlds, right? They're going to be a part of their family small world, their hangout buddy small world, their workout team small world. Well, the Passport app allows them from a single app to visit and post to different worlds without logging in and out of all of these different worlds. So we know it's going to be very, very compelling. And it's going to be some things that we know everybody wants in a small world that's going to only be available in the Passport app. Why? So that we can get as many members of your small worlds, whether it be your families or all these small world communities, to upgrade to Passport app. Now, I want you to slow down and try to put all this together. Some of you just will not sleep tonight. You might have to come back and watch this again. But this is a very simple concept. We know it's brand new. We know it's not vitamins in the box and juice in the bottle. But you should be celebrating that. But what it is, because think about it. Now go back to the example of 100 small worlds being put into the marketplace by you or your team. And then each one of those being individuals deciding for some other reason they want their own world. And that goes from 100 to 1,000, 1,000 to 10,000, 10,000 to 1 million. When we say 1 million, we're talking about members inside of these small worlds. Now look at the earning potential as 1 million people are tempted with multiple things that they can individually upgrade and opt into. That's the power of what we're doing. That's what makes us so radically different than anything else in the marketplace. I will be the first to admit to you, it takes a little thinking to understand what we're doing. We're not telling you to fill out a form, you know, when the box shows up, take the vitamins, see if you feel good, and have some. We're not doing that. We're doing something radically different, right? But here's the beautiful thing about it. We still have the ability, if you watched our other broadcasts, all those tried and true industries are still fair game to us. Some of our strategic partners that are already teed up to be some of our first premium service providers are going to be nutritional based. So now imagine that you play these numbers out and in an appropriate way. In the Passport app now, we can have stores, right? And in the Passports app, we may have stores sectioned off just like Costco. We may have a section of the store on fitness and nutrition, a section of the store on travel and discounts, a section of the store on, we have an unlimited way we can do this. Now you understand how powerful this is, right? So now people can opt into services, whether it be a one-time buy of a product or a subscription to a product. But your opportunity is to get as many of these worlds into the marketplace so you can hedge your bet on the members of those worlds opting into these products and services. Here's the last thing I'm going to let you know before I let you go tonight. I don't want to keep you too long. And here's what I think is so exciting about our radical, disruptive business model. In the example that I just walked you through, you personally never reach out to an individual member and ask them to upgrade to any of these services. The company takes that on. We just tell you, get the mini, we get the one. You put the world in the marketplace, and we will come up with the creative ways to get people to opt into these premium services. Just know that when they opt into the premium services inside of your world, that's generating the sales volume that you're compensated on in your comp plan. So hopefully the light bulb is going off right now. One more thing I want to talk to you about. Here's our secret weapon. You guys, believe it or not, are our secret weapon. Here's why you guys are a secret weapon. Go back and do the math and just imagine now that we as a company can have 5,000, 6,000, 10,000 reps, at post-launch, and just based on those reps alone, just based on those reps families alone, and a handful of these apps they put into the marketplace, how fast do the numbers start to grow? Now, the reason why that's important to you now, when you go back and you look at the compensation plan, and you realize that many parts of the compensation plan bonus pool are fed by corporate volume, now you're going to start to understand why this is hands down the best opportunity ever presented to people in network marketing industry. Not because we have the most secret ingredient, not because we have the most doctor reports in our absorption technique or free radical thing, but because we are in the app economy. You get to put this app economy scale in your favor. What's the app economy scale? Successful apps, successful mobile apps are not thousands of downloads, are not tens of thousands of downloads. They're hundreds of thousands of downloads. They're millions of downloads. You get it's the closest thing to to a lottery-like effect that we could come up with. Keep in mind that in addition to all that we're talking about, we're going to be very we're going to be very smart about what's appealing to people and how, right? Because we're going to be able to see what's making people opt into the fitness program or thing from we're going to be able to see, get the video to work right, get that kinetic, that emotive media to work, because that's how we're going to be pushing. So in my Passport app, it might say, if you watch this video, it might watch this video about this new product or whatever. When it works well, then we can take a version of that same offering, put it standalone in the Apple Store, put media to produce it. Our network downloading that app is going to make us number one in Apple. Number one in Apple is going to expose us to the rest of the world out there that can opt into that app and download it. Now, here's the thing that we've not even talked about. I might let the cat out of the bag. So we have this concept we call we call it like the super pool, right? And that's what we mean by doing that. That means that as we get smart about things inside of our network, we can take that intelligence and push it out. Because we're a mobile app company, we can push it out as a standalone mobile app with the purpose of super funding. We call that the super fund, super funding our bonus pools. Did anybody follow that? Did anybody get that? Did anybody understand that what I'm saying is, as you guys make a fortune and retire yourself by getting these small worlds out there, and as we get smarter as a company about how to make these different premium services available and offering in our private community, as we get smart about doing that, once we figure out the formula, we can then replicate that formula in the open app economy market, where there are hundreds of millions of people to touch, and we're going to use that. If we get the hit record, right, if we get that hit app, we look up and we get one of those hit apps, it's going to super fund, overfund some of these bonus pools. I don't know if you understood what I just said. I know if it just, wow. And why am I doing something radically and crazy like that? It goes back to the simple fact that I am you. I'm wrapping it up with some concepts that I really want you to get in your DNA. The thing that makes Alpha Loop different than most other companies on the planet is I am you. And what I mean by that is I am a rep, basically. I'm a person brought from the field. I have your mentality. I know what would drive you crazy. I know what would drive you over the top. I know how challenging it is. I know what it is to have a busy work schedule and juggle all this stuff and be worried and same and doubt. You know, I survived the first 15 minutes of a network marketing company, the first 15 days, the first 15 months, and the first 15 grand a month, too. I survived all of those things, so I kind of have all that stuff. I know what it's like. I didn't read it from a book or take a seminar or have a consultant tell me. I walk the walk in the shoes I wear, and I am you. But here's the thing. You are better than me because of that. Because of that. Because the person that's driving the corporate side of this, the person that's driving the what's in it for you, because that I am you, you are better than me. If you're understanding, if this is making any sense to you guys, your hair should be lighting on fire. This is what makes this unique experience different than anything else out there. Now, some of you are going to win this thing and ride along, and some of you that's going to miss the boat. I know that's how it is, because the thing we can't do is make this the right time in your life. We can't make you believe. We can't flip the switches that you need to flip. Only you can flip them that make you say, doggone it, this is the deal, this is it, now is the time, I'm the person, here we go, let's roll. We can't, you have there's only one person that can flip that switch. I'm going to try my best to find a way to make you do it through incenting you, through motivating you, through inspiring you, through pissing you off, through whatever it takes. Because if I can get you to flip that switch, your universe will change. Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox. I'm just very passionate about that because I know that's all it takes. So I hope that today gave you a little bit more insight into what's going on with this little simple thing we activated this week called Our Small World, Our Private Community. And all you have to do is get in there and activate it and activate yourself. That's the first piece to all of what I just walked you through. You're in that community. You're going to be experiencing it firsthand. It is real. We're making we're making your version of the reality I painted today real by your real participation. So go all the way back to the first mission. If you've not activated yourself in our private community or made the time to do the very basics, which is follow that guide, put a picture in there, put the 3 things about yourself, and go on a mission to connect with people in a human way and get them to do the same thing, then it's not my fault. You can't blame me if you missed this one. You can't blame me. There's not going to be anything other than that I couldn't, well, you know what, I take that back. I was dead wrong in that comment I just made. You will blame me, because as the leader, I would not have found a way to get you to do the one thing required for this to be what you need it to be, which is to flip your switch. I take that back. In my passion and excitement, I was telling you, I said it in a way that is really fundamentally not true. It will be my responsibility, and I will take that on. But what I was trying to say is, I can't do that piece for you. That's the piece you need to do. Now, I'm going to continue to try to find a way to push the button. I'm going to try my best. And if I fail at that, I failed you. But for some of you, I won't. I will find a way, or you will push that button on your own. Some of you already have. But when you push that button, given everything, the platform and timing, I can't imagine how you can do any research on mobile apps at all and social networks at all, and look at what other people are doing out in network marketing and social networks, and people are making a fortune selling blogs that they don't even use. I mean, it's some stuff out there. I'm not saying that any of that is bad. I'm just saying it's not as good as what we have. It's not as exciting. You don't have the scale, the economy of scale on your side that we have. You don't have we didn't even talk about the tools we're about to activate on your behalf. We're going to put tools in your hand that empower you to promote yourself and blow this thing up before we go live. I've never seen so much time, focus, attention, and actual cash be spent on reps before reps have declared that they have joined the company and are paying to be a part of the company. We are paying it so far forward. If people didn't understand that the things I understand about how you tick, it would make no sense for us to be making this massive contribution, paying it forward like we are. They would say, no, do it like everybody else. Just put a form out there, tell them what you're doing, and let the people that see it join, let them pay, and then work out of the profits that they come in. Don't pay it so far forward. Well, we're paying it 5,000 miles forward, because by doing that, some of you are going to go light years ahead of what you ever thought was possible. And you were probably right, because without all the stuff we talked about, it might not have been that possible. All right, guys. So, wow. I hope I don't fail you. I hope I don't fail to get you to the place required for you to just push the I will not be stopped button.